So when I was a teenager, my dad said to me that you don't actually fail until you give up. Now, being me, obviously I reworded it, made it a bit more eloquent, and ended up getting it tattooed on me. So I have a tattoo that says the only failure is a failure to continue. And it's something that's always stuck with me for a long, long time. And it has shaped the way I actually view failure and the way I deal with it. The way you think and feel about failure will affect your prosperity in life. And for most people, the fear of failure is so profound that it stops them taking action and it stops them doing things that they want to do and things that they know will enrich their life. So the failure itself is not actually the issue, it's the fear. For many people, fear comes down to one thing, which is the unknown. Fear is an unknown variable that removes our control. That's all fear is. Whatever it is you have a fear of, we can trace it back to not being able to control it and having an unknown outcome. So for most people, if we can get past that fear of failure, then we can create something amazing. It's important to understand that failure is not finite. It's not the end when you fail. For every failure, we can find a lesson. And from that lesson, we have the ability to learn and to grow and to move forwards. If you take a failure as being the end, then you will never move forward and you'll never grow. Now, failure itself is a combination of perspective and feelings. If we can dissolve the feelings that we have around failure, so those feelings of fear, the feelings of failing, then you can shift your perspective. And if you do that enough times and you get really good at changing your perspective, then you can create a completely different feeling around failure. So failure is something that if we reframe it, we can use it as an incredible tool for growth. So you can take a failure and you can learn from it, implement something else, and then get yourself back on the path to success, on the path to prosperity. But it comes down to being able to shift the feeling around it. When you get really good at this, you can actually make failure quite an exciting thing. You can go from, oh, I failed, I give up, I quit, to, oh, I failed, what's the lesson? That's exciting. Let's use that. Let's grow. Let's move on. So it all comes down to being able to control the feeling around it, to shift the feeling around it, and then take the perspective and the thoughts about it. And if you can control those, then you can always, always keep going and keep progressing and understand that failure is not a bad thing. Failure is part of the process. It's an inevitability within life, within any kind of thing that you go after. If you're going to chase a goal, you've got to be prepared to fail. But the way you view that failure, the way you think about it, the way you feel about it will dictate your level of success. And that's something that's always stuck with me right from being a teenager. And I'm super grateful to my dad for saying that to me. So the main message of today's quote of the week is to take your failures and to shift how you feel about them and shift how you think about them. Okay, perspective is everything when it comes to failure. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. What have you learned from your failure? Think about some of your biggest failures, the things that you've completely fucked up, but then what have you drawn from it? What lesson have you learned and how have you moved forward and grown from it? Let me know in the comments, guys.